Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope wherever you are that you're getting some sunshine. It's still a little wintry for us here. So I wanted to address some questions that I tend to get about keto if people are unfamiliar with it. And I think that it can be a little misleading because there's information out there, like people think it's all about bacon and butter, which we eat a lot of bacon and butter, but we also eat a lot of other things. So I just want people to kind of have a little picture of what it's really like. So in terms of what food we eat, I'm just going to give you a little snapshot of my day. And I will say that for one, I don't eat as much as I used to because my body, you end up burning your own fat and using your own fuel sources such as ketones instead of having to constantly put carbs and glucose into your body. So I start off my day with a fatty coffee. I personally use a hormone-free heavy whipping cream in my coffee in the morning and may or may not put some erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol. It's a more natural form of sugar that does not, or a sugar alternative that does not spike your blood sugar. So that is our goal with the ketogenic diet. So that's it. I have probably 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I usually probably end up drinking like a cup and a half. And then that's it until like noon or somewhere between noon and 2. I don't know what time it is right now. I think it's like 1:30 or so, and I haven't had any food yet. So that's pretty typical, even if I work out in the morning. I usually teach PIO 3 days a week in the mornings, and I don't eat anything before that. So it's a pretty good feeling because I used to have carbs all the time, with me all the time, especially because I'm really active and would get the whole hangry blood sugar roller coaster thing going on, and I don't anymore. So coffee, and then when I eat around noon or 2, it's either eggs, like an omelet, sometimes sauteed veggies in there, sometimes some bacon, sometimes not, cooked in a grass-fed butter or ghee, and sometimes I do cheese, sometimes not. We are trying to stay away from it a little bit, and if we do any dairy, it's hormone-free for sure. So, but there's usually some avocado on it. This time of year, it can be hard to find good avocados, so I don't know where you're at, but if you have holy guacamole wherever you're at, that's a really good item to have. In fact, Costco has it because it's really clean ingredients. It's basically just avocados. Sometimes there's some spices and herbs or whatever in it, but that's it. And so you get this nice big container of just avocados, and we go through that stuff really fast. Such a good form of fat for you. So usually that's in my day somewhere. So that's lunch. It's either a big salad or some kind of eggs, omelets, whatever. And the salad usually will have some form of meat. I always eat hormone-free meat, grass-fed beef, grass-finished beef, which we actually sell. And then maybe some like nitrate-free salami, something like that, ground beef, whatever. I have some form of meat on my salad. Plus, I like lots of stuff, like lots of different veggies on my salad. If people think that keto does not include veggies, totally not true. It's true that we don't do a lot of starchy veggies. We don't do a lot of really carby veggies, but I eat salad almost daily. I try to eat it daily, but sometimes things happen, you just don't. But I eat a lot of green veggies, a lot of spinach, kale, broccoli. I love that like shredded broccoli you can get. We make a lot of like keto-friendly coleslaw because it's really easy, it's really yummy, and you get lots of good healthy fat plus the cabbage and the broccoli and all that shredded stuff. So that's that. And then throughout the day, I might snack on like maybe some nuts, macadamia nuts and pecans or pecans. Apparently I say it wrong. Are the best options for nuts because they have the most fat content and lowest carb content. But we do things like almonds and cashews, things like that are super good for you, but I just have them in smaller doses, and pistachios are a favorite of mine. And then I make some fat bombs to have around, like have in the fridge for snacks. Sometimes I'll do like salami with a little bit of cream cheese if I'm allowing myself some dairy. sometimes a pickle with that. The salami is always hormone-free, nitrate and nitrite-free, which you can get, if you guys are in my area, you can get that at Winco. I mean, Winco actually has a lot of this stuff. Or let's see, what else? That's kind of, I mean, for my snacks, if I want a snack, it's pretty low key. I like nut butters, Perfect Keto, which is where I get my exogenous ketones. They have a new nut butter out, which is macadamias, cashews, MCT oil, and coconut butter or coconut oil. I think it's coconut butter, and it's delicious. And sometimes I'll have like a spoonful of that, like literally just a spoonful, or dip some dark, really, really dark chocolate in it. And so you're getting lots of good healthy fats. Even in the super dark chocolate, you're getting some good healthy fats and lots of minerals. So that's a really great snack. Hard-boiled eggs are great. So I might have a snack in the afternoon. And then in the evening, it's typically, if I haven't had a salad yet, then I'll have a salad. Sometimes I want something to eat in the evening, but not necessarily like a big dinner. And so if we don't do like maybe like a meat and a veggie, then it might be that we're just snacking on, like, we like to make salami chips, so you just get that hormone-free, nitrate-free salami and put it in the oven at like 400 for maybe like 20 minutes. You just have to watch it, like put it on parchment paper and it'll get crispy. And sometimes I'll dip that like in the holy guacamole. Super good snack. Things like that in the evening. But usually if I'm wanting like a dinner, then it's some kind of non-starchy veggie and a meat. Pretty simple. I do, we'll experiment with recipes. I make a lot of soups. I've been making a lot of soups over the winter. And so that's something that we might have, but it's not complicated at all. It really isn't. In my groups that I run, I give you guys meal plans, and there's a lot of recipes involved. So you can make it as easy or as complicated as you want. If you're somebody who loves to like spend a ton of time in the kitchen and like prepping all the things on Sunday, so all week that you have your stuff, totally doable. But you don't have to. I do not enjoy doing that, so I don't do that. I just make sure that I have all the things I need in my kitchen so that I can go and make whatever as I feel. I'm kind of one of those, like, what do I feel like? I don't like to plan ahead too much with that, because I can promise you I might not feel like that when the day rolls around. So, and then what about gluten? This is something that people ask me. Well, on the ketogenic diet, you're cutting all that out. It's just naturally part of it. We don't do gluten on keto. Now, before keto, I was doing gluten. Well, and then I went paleo, and so that cut it out. For me, it wasn't something that my body was necessarily reacting to, but it is also amazing when you take some of these things out that typically like tend to really kind of on a foundational level disrupt our health, but we don't realize it, because we're just kind of walking through life having these symptoms that are just, we feel like it's normal. Then when you remove it and then you feel amazing, it's kind of like, oh, light bulb goes off. This is what people have been talking about. Like it may not be wreaking a lot of havoc like it does on some people, but for me, like I feel less brain fog, I feel more energy, all those things. So I have enjoyed it. But when you're doing keto, it's naturally like gluten is naturally cut out. So if this is you and you're concerned about that, that's an easy answer for you. Now, dairy, and then if you're a vegetarian, those two things are different. So dairy is something where people are kind of split down the middle. Some people are all about the dairy, and some people are like, no, that's not even keto, which, that's not really anybody's decision to make. It's kind of it's very much a personal decision. I personally, if people, well, for one, I definitely recommend hormone-free dairy, absolutely, because whatever the animal is ingesting that you get the dairy from, you're going to be taking that into your body. So hormone-free for sure, but then dairy. So if you're going along on keto and you're feeling like my body's not responding the way I want it to, dairy is one of the first things that I will suggest you remove, because it can affect your blood sugar, and people don't realize that. And even if it's hormone free, it can still have effects on your hormones, especially because it might be affecting your blood sugar. That's all stuff that, like we don't need to get into the science of it, but it's just a fact. And I have had so many people who've cut dairy at least down significantly, who have had like great results because of that. And some people like cringe, like, oh my gosh, my dairy, my cheese. But you know what? You end up feeling so good that it ends up not being a big deal. I can attest to that because I'm that person for sure. I love cheese. I love dairy. But if I'm feeling like I've had a little bit too much, or I'm doing too much of it every day and my body's not responding well, cutting that out has really fast rewards. And then in terms of vegetarianism, you guys, I have to say I respect people who have that as a lifestyle. Totally, 100%. I was vegetarian for a few years in my 20s, or I guess late teens into 20s. And I will just say that it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. I've had several people try it, and it's really hard for them to get enough fats and hard to get enough protein. On the ketogenic diet, your protein is moderate. So it's less than, a lot of people are like, oh, you need to be eating tons and tons of protein. And so we really cut that down. It is not like Atkins. It's a more moderate level of protein. If you have too much protein, you can convert that into fat in your body, and we don't want that. So it can just be a very, very challenging task. Aside from keto, I personally really love to see people eating really good, nutrient-dense, whole forms of meat that come from grass-fed meat sources, hormone-free meat sources, antibiotic meat sources, because we are getting vitamins from those foods that we cannot get from other sources. And you can supplement all you want, but having those vitamins and nutrients coming from food sources are going to be way more readily absorbed in your body versus taking a supplement. So I really love seeing people do that. That being said, it's totally your decision, and I respect that. I definitely welcome people into my group who are vegetarian, but you also have to be super creative, super creative with it. And yeah, it just makes my head spin thinking about trying to do that. So that's that with the vegetarian thing. So if you have a family, what do you do? If you're wanting to do keto, but you're maybe not necessarily wanting your kids to do it, or maybe they, you don't mind if they do some of it, but you don't want to be cooking all these different meals. It's actually not a big deal because let's say like we do tacos or taco salads a lot, and I'm not making my child or my stepsons like do keto at all. I think it's very healthy. But I'm just not really wanting to fight that battle. So we will do something like cook up a bunch of taco meat and then do all the veggies. Like most of it is stuff we're all eating, right? But then like actually recently we had stepsons over, my son, my parents, like we just had a bunch of people over, and that's what we did, taco salad. And so for the people who are not keto, we had, in addition to like the basics, we had some tortillas for those people and some refried beans for those people. But other than that, it was just all the meat. We have hormone-free cheese always. We had all the cut up veggies. And then I also used some butter lettuce. So that's what I did. I put all the stuff in my little butter lettuce and used that as a taco. And we have hormone-free sour cream for everybody. And of course, like the holy guacamole. Really easy. It's not a big deal. And then we did actually have some chips and salsa for people to munch on. So there's, you can have the basics and then add the couple of little like non-keto things for those people who want them. Like hamburgers. We never do buns, obviously. I don't even like doing like keto buns or whatever. I just like doing a lettuce wrap. Or sometimes I just put all the stuff on it and just eat it, with a fork, whatever. I don't miss the bun at all. But if we're having something where people are going to be with us and they're not keto, we'll have buns for them. Big deal. Not a big deal. So keto foods are super like everybody friendly. Everybody loves them. And a lot of people are really surprised and just like, oh, because I think that there's this whole like mentality, you get like from Atkins and that kind of thing, that you're going to be just eating bacon and butter or whatever. And it's not like that at all. We do a ton of veggies. We have a lot of variety, and people tend to really love the foods. And then the last one, well, I guess I already addressed this, so I have to spend all day in the kitchen, and no, you do not. But you can if you want to. I'm not that girl. But keto can be super, super easy. I personally love it. I think it's very easy, even when you go out to eat. Nowadays, they'll even, like if you order a burger somewhere, people tend to offer you like, do you want a lettuce wrap or do you want a bun, you know? So things are changing, but even without all that, like it's so easy to just do some kind of a meat and a veggie and just don't get the chips and the bread and stuff like that. Super simple. So, all right, guys, I am going to let you go now. I have a group starting, sorry, I have a little tickle in my throat, April 2nd, a Monday, that our next upcoming Monday actually. And my group just started. I just opened it for enrollment. So if you're interested, I will post a link below. You get meal plans for each week. There are 8 weeks altogether. We go through all the basics of keto, and there's a lot, but we go through all the basics. Each week is a different module, and you get all the information when you sign up. On Friday, I open up the class, and so you can go in there and digest all the information at once if you want, or trickle through it, or do whatever you want. We talk about hormones and sleep and stress, and obviously all the different basics with keto. Like I give you food lists along with the recipes and food plans, and how to track, how to tell you're in keto, what to do like with keto flu and any kind of supplements you should or shouldn't take. I really like to address all the things that are like floating out there, like having to do with keto, because there's a lot, and to be honest with you, there's a lot that I don't think is necessary. And so I really like to break that down for people so that you feel really informed and can make a decision that fits best for you. So that starts on Monday the 2nd. If you're interested, you can enroll now. I will post a link and you guys can get going. All right. Talk to you later.